I say after all the highs that we have managed, today was a bit of a reality check as you approach the business end of the chess Olympiad, especially for one team. Now, as far as the results are concerned today, let me just tell you what is the current situation. The India men's team, Gukesh, Pragnananda, Arjun Erigaisi, Vidit Gujarati, all put on a brilliant show to thrash Iran 3.5 to 0.5. Now, with this result and with just 3 rounds remaining, the India men's team are all but certain of a medal. We don't know which color medal it will be. And as far as the overall team event is concerned, if you have to look at the Nona Kaprandashvili Cup, perhaps India might win it. The men's team are well on course to achieving a historic gold medal. But in the women's section today, we faced the ultimate heartbreak because India lost 1.5, 2.5 to a very, very strong Poland team. Now, we knew that Poland, Georgia were all going to be the tougher teams heading into the business end of the chess Olympiad. And unfortunately, today, the women's team found it out the hardest way possible because in the women's section, Divya Deshmukh put on a brilliant display, and that is why she managed to win her encounter. But Vaishali, Harika Dronavalli, disappointed. Vantika Agarwal could have very well made it 2-2, and she was well on course. She had an advantage of plus 3.6. Her white pieces were really building up the pressure on her opponent. But then there was time pressure. In the past rounds, when you looked at Vantika Agarwal, she was really doing well under time pressure, but against a very strong Polish team, taking the game deep and with too little time, it always carried risks. And that risk today backfired in a big, big way. Vantika Agarwal just had 3 seconds to make a move. But unfortunately, what happened in that, she allowed the pawn to be unguarded on the A flank, and because of that, the knight took it. The advantage, the queen took it, and that's why the advantage totally whittled away. So because of that, the unfortunate thing was because of time pressure, the pawn on the A flank was left unguarded. The queen took it, and every advantage that you could get was gone. Time pressure, she made that move. She took the queen to a different square, and with bishops at the opposite diagonals, it could not be made into a forced position, and that is why Vantika Agarwal tried her best. Her game just finished about 3 minutes back, but unfortunately, it just was not meant to be, and because of that, her game ended in a draw. Now, Harika Dronavalli, now she was always behind, and for a certain period of time, she had almost got the position back on equal. But then she allowed her opponent's pawn to at least come nearer to the H flank, and that is why, with the bishop already giving the protection, she just could not convert that advantage and she was cornered. And Harika Dronavalli has suffered her third loss at this point. And many people now are unfairly, or maybe according to their thing, they are fairly or unfairly targeting Harika Dronavalli at this point in time. But then you have to understand, on the top board you will get the top opponents, and Harika was on the top board, and that is why as a GM she had to face the entire thing, and that is why she did put up a fight. But unfortunately it just could not materialize. But the shocker today was Vaishali's game looked to her. She had played such solid chess at this point in time, but then her middle game position collapsed. And because of that, she just could not get the momentum going. And because of that, her loss was indeed a massive jolt. We had expected that Divya Deshmukh would be the enforcer. Harika, Vaishali, and Vantika. Vantika's game, if you look at it, she would have really gotten it. But then, unfortunately, Harika had lost twice before, but the others made up for it. Today, when Vaishali lost, it was a really bad situation, and that is why you have to feel for the women's team at this point, because now what has happened is they are no longer in the lead at this point. They are now gotten the joint lead at this point. Two other teams have stepped up to it, and that is why in the remainder of the 3 games, it's gonna be absolutely crucial that there is no slip up. Now many people are saying rest Harika. Maybe she might be rested, but at this point in time, it has to be very, very important to understand that you cannot make knee-jerk changes. Maybe looking at the experience, Harika has got a lot of experience at this point from playing so many Olympiads, so maybe they may not rest her. But then maybe it may be time for Tanya Sachdev to step up then in the next game tomorrow. Now, as far as the men's team is concerned, there was simply a magnificent exhibition from Gukesh, Arjun, and Vidit Gujarati. All three a sensational bit. Gukesh in particular, yet another masterclass where he forced Parham Maksudlu, the stronger of the Iranian opponents, to make a blunder. He blundered and he lost all the advantage, and that is why it was really heartening to see Gukesh clinical yet again. Arjun just as always focused, determined, and Vidit Gujarati stepping up. Now, after the rest day, when you look at it, he has really stepped up to the plate, and that is why India beating Iran 3.5, 0.5 has opened up the advantage a bit more. But now, heading into the next games, you are facing a lot of challenges because India in the men's team will potentially face Uzbekistan. Uzbekistan are the defending champions, they are the gold medal winners, and last time Uzbekistan had hurt us. And right as of now, when we look at it, first time in history, two Indians are in the top five. Gukesh is in the top five. Arjun Erigaisi is in the top five. And looking at the current situation, looking at the pairings, maybe it could be Nadirbek Abdur Sattarov versus Gukesh. Now that game will really, really ensure that yes, India could win gold. Now, Nadirbek versus Gukesh, but remember, the pairings will not be revealed until tomorrow. So we will come to know Uzbekistan versus India. In the women's section, you could face either Kazakhstan or the USA at this point. So round 9 is going to be the most important round because that will determine whether you will win the top gold at this point. You'll win that medal, the top medal, which is the gold medal. Will you win it? That will be determined in round 9 at this point. See, it could be Kazakhstan, it could be USA, it could be even China, but three teams who are incredibly tough at this point in time for the India women's team. So now with this one loss, they have to ensure that they don't lose momentum. If they lose in their next round, then I think their momentum has been totally gone. And that's why they have to regroup. Yes, this is a jolt. 1.5, 2.5. It's the first loss ever for the women's team in this Olympiad and could not have come at a worse time. The India men's team, on the other hand, unbeaten so far, and that is why it is going to be a really, really important thing at this point in time. So let's take a couple of comments that is there. Then Poland still have their match against Georgia left, so let's hope for the best. We are ahead on tie breaks. Random cultist is saying sure, but then Poland Georgia is going to be really, really important. But Georgia, remember, India did beat. So that's why you have a bit of a hope that maybe Poland might not suffer that fate against Georgia. India versus Uzbekistan will determine whether India take gold in the next round. Siraj Mohammed is saying, yes, it is the make or break. We thought China would be the acid test for them. No. Tomorrow in the open category, India versus Uzbekistan, Gukesh versus Nadirbek Abdur Sattarov, maybe. Let's go India, Aniket Nirlikar. Yes, in the men's section, let's go, but in the women's section, heartbreak. Harika, Rishabh Jaiswal is saying, Harika has been disappointing since the start. Well, she's had the tougher board. She's had the tougher opponent. So that's why, yes, it was bad. Especially look at the game against Ukraine. Alexandra Kostunik, one of the best women chess grandmasters at this point in time. Harika did face her at this point. Probably India will have to play Uzbekistan, USA, and Vietnam/Germany in the remaining 3 rounds in open category. Yes, absolutely. Uzbekistan, USA, and Vietnam. Vietnam also putting up a good fight, but today Vietnam lost to Norway, so that is why that might have probably given us a bit of an opening. Divya is playing the role for Arjun in the women's team, absolutely. She and Vantika, by the way. Harika hasn't won a single game even against weaker opponents. Just saying, well, that's the way we are looking at it. Women's team, Siraj Mohammed is saying, still capable of converting remaining 3 games to get gold. Let's keep supporting them. Yes, we will support them. Harika has little bad form, 3 lost out of 8 games, but still she's very good. Sam Prul. She's a fighter, Sam Prul. Let us be very honest about it. She's a fighter. She takes the game deep. But yes, she's not had the luck in this Olympiad at this point. Poland ko kaun rokega? Random cultist. Well, random cultist, I hope Georgia does it. But it's going to be a very uphill task. This Polish team is very, very strong at this point. Harika performance is not good, to be honest. James is saying Vaishali losing all her plots. Today's loss by Vaishali, it was really shocking. Let us be very honest about it. Men's team demolition, but next is Uzbekistan, the acid test at this point. Open team just crushed it. Unfortunate women's team, random things is saying. Random cult is Gukesh versus Nadirberg for world number 4. Next is Abdu versus Gukesh. Sam Prul is saying this time Gukesh will take revenge. India in 3 points lead. Mustafa saying, what needs to be understood is that Harika is facing the strongest players in the field. It'll be tough. She'll played against Alexandra Kostyuk, Nana Zagnidze, Alina Kaslinskaya, and so on. Absolutely, that's the pedigree. Top boards will give you top grandmasters. And as I mentioned, Alexandra Kostyuk of Ukraine, very strong grandmaster. Sam Prul, we might face China in the women's, let's see. Kazakh, we have already played. Well, it depends on the draw. Tomorrow, I think mostly we could be facing China or we could be facing the US. Let's see how that pans out at this point. Prague, the wall of the Olympiad for India, Nishant Agarwal is saying, yes, I think Pragnananda has done his bit, but today the siblings had a very off day. Vaishali lost, Pragnananda drew out of all the games that is there. So 8 into 4, 34 games in open, India still unbeaten. Mustafa, absolutely. I mean, that is dominance. But the acid test is coming up tomorrow against Uzbekistan at this point. So, Rakshit Singh, yes, Rakshit, I mean, your calculations that were there, it's been deliberated a lot upon Rakshit. Women's section, we still have gold chances. We can't expect a dream run in 11 out of 11 rounds. I'm happy that the loss is over and it's only going to be upwards from here. Yes, Rakshit, absolutely. And I think we are closing in even on the Nona Gaprindashvili trophy also. But Rakshit, what I'm worried about is your analysis and everything is spot on. I mean, you can't expect a dream run in 11 out of 11 rounds considering the opposition. But I'm only worried is that the loss has come at a bad time. 3 more rounds to go, 3 tougher opponents. I hope they have not lost momentum. That's why, Rakshit, I really hope that it has happened. Golden period of Indian chess, Devans Dikshit saying, yes, it is. It is a golden period, but we'll only know about that on 22nd. Do you see a world championship match between Gukesh versus Arjun in 2026? Well, first, Venkatraman Satyamurthy, Gukesh has to win. Firstly, Gukesh has to win the World Chess Championship. Arjun then has to qualify for the candidates and win that. And you all know how convoluted and how torturous is the route to the candidates. Gukesh testified it in the interview that I did with Sports Today after he won the candidates. It was really torturous at this point. So, Rakshit Singh, just check the standings. India and Poland are on same game points. Poland has had 2 draw games serious previously. So, yes, Rakshit, it's heating up now. That's why I did not want India to lose to Poland today in the women's category. It has made everybody else catch up. And that's why it came at a bad time. So that's why. True, next round need to bounce back strongly to get back to winning ways. Rakshit Singh, absolutely. But Rakshit, as I said, if you come on the stream, we all get those candidates vibes at this point in time. We hope it continues. Let us manifest. As we have seen a lot of platforms manifest, some miracle can happen at this point. So let's hope that happens, Rakshit. But I'll truly be seeing you tomorrow as well. Let's pray, fingers crossed. India, Uzbekistan. India, I think it is China. Let's see how that happens. Vietnam versus Norway match was draw. Yes, it was. So, Sujal Mishra, I want Prague to win now. Yep. Yes, manifesting it. Let's manifest it at this point in time. So, it is going to be really interesting now. Your favorite chess player should be, apart from Vishy, Priyanshu was saying, Magnus. Can't look past Magnus, man. He's a beast. Among the current Indians, I think Gukesh is far better. I love his positional play. Prag is solid. Vidit is great. But I think if you want to look at the best player in the world after Vishy, has to be Magnus. Your favorite chess opening? I like the Sicilian. Opening there. Yeah, so sorry, folks. I faced an issue. So thank you so much, folks, for joining us for this live. Subscribe to Sports Today for all the latest news and analysis. Bye-bye.